I am 19. Wrote this exact note while on the plane about my best friend at the time, F20. Story. Quick note. This is a note that I wrote while pretty emotional, and I guess I wanted to share it somewhere. I have edited certain parts like names for privacy reasons, but other than that it is my raw thoughts. And I have replaced my best friend's name with simply D. June 6th, 2024. Time unknown, as currently in an airplane coming back from grandma funeral. I've never wrote anything like this, but currently I don't have anything to do on the plane and I got bored of playing my balloon monkey video game. This is going to be my private thought sharing space, and in case anyone that isn't me is reading, I hope this isn't so cringe that you immediately go jump off the nearest building. For context, in case I read this years later and want a reminder, my grandma passed away and I went to America to give a eulogy at the funeral, and I am returning to Korea after a long 4-day trip. I am currently in second year first semester at uni and it is finals week, so I am now behind a lot in studying. There's a crying baby being louder than a gorilla on the plane and a funky smell coming from who knows where. I don't even want to know. Mom is mad at me for not being present with the family, and I have a lot on my mind. My best friend got mad at me a few days ago, and I genuinely have been thinking about it nonstop for the past 2 days. I considered investing in a time machine, memory eraser, or even about going to an alternate reality where none of this had happened. Unfortunately, reality hit me, and I realized those scenarios would be a dubious proposition at best. I guess this is just another tragic love story. Yep, I'm in love with my best friend. I messed up. Real bad. I kissed my Chinese friend girl and didn't tell Dee about it. And now she's pissed I didn't tell her. I want to create some excuse, but the truth is it should have never happened and I ended up hurting 2 people at once. Great job. I never realized how much reading a simple "what the fuck is wrong with you" in text would hurt, but I guess now I know. Dee is a strange person, and I do not understand her at all. She's so weird. She steals my clothes, calls me stupid and cringe and bitch ass all the time. She bullies me relentlessly and is possibly a vegan, face vomiting. She sucks at math and is always too tired to do anything and has the worst sleep schedule known under the sun and of all humanity. She always changes her mind and changes her mood. She's always broke and has no money, so she uses mine. She listens to K-pop and is always late. Seriously, not kidding, if she says it'll be out in 5 it means an hour. I swear I could go on for hours. And if all that wasn't bad enough, she plays Valorant and Roblox. But I love everything about her I just listed. For some reason, she's the best person Eve ever met. I know it sounds crazy and it doesn't make sense to me either, but we've been friends for a while now and am just realizing how important she is to me. Like, I physically cannot imagine life without her. I guess I feel like no one else understands me like her, and she's also really, really extremely fucking beautiful. I will never admit that again, skull. I've been so scared that I would lose her over this because I don't know what I would do without her. And sorry, had to change the song on my phone. As I was saying, I know there is no way she would ever like me back. If she ever reads this, I'd probably kill myself. Reminds me of the plot to that movie we watched at McDonald's. I think it was To Every Boy Eve Ever Loved. I can imagine all the scenarios if I ever said anything, EW fuck off, etc. And as someone who has never confessed to anyone before, I can't handle that right now. I was very, very, very depressed before boarding this plane. It had been around 2 days since our last contact, and I thought I was her number 1 hated person in the world. But as I was sitting in the airport feeling terrible, she called me. Holy shit, she called me. She was drunk ASF and started saying she was drunk and threw up 7 times. Her voice was normal at first, but it was like 30 seconds before she completely broke down. She started crying and repeating herself over and over again, saying she was sorry for treating me how she did. She said things that I thought I would never hear in my life. I miss you. You do so much for me, but I don't return it, and I was trying so hard not to cry. She said the whole Libby thing was none of her business. I honestly wanted to just flat out say, I did it to get my mind off of you, because I'm so in love with you it physically hurts me, and I know you will never like me back, but I just kept saying it's okay, and that no matter what she does or says it's always going to be okay. She said she hadn't eaten in 2 days, and that honestly broke me a bit. I know she's always had an eating problem, and I was so worried about it before I left. That hearing that made me so sad. We talked a bit, mostly her crying hysterically and repeating herself, and eventually I said I had to board my plane, and I hung up the phone. If I'm being honest, my immediate reaction was that I was so happy she still wanted to talk to me. I honestly have so much love for her that I don't know what to do with, so I can only express it in writing this stupid note. I was and am still very glad she told me all that on the phone, and I guess I'm just worried she won't remember it, and I'll be left the only person in the world with that memory, and I'll have to get her to forgive me all over again. Reminds me of Spider-Man LMAO. I feel like if her memory ever got erased from me 1,000 times, I'd introduce myself to her 2,000. Damn, so cheesy. This is getting really long, so I guess I'll get to the point. I'm going to land in around 7 hours, and am honestly the most nervous I've ever been in my life. I'll probably check for DMS from her as soon as I land. I bought her favorite chips before we fought, and I was worried I would and be able to give them to her. If she doesn't remember anything she said, then I'll beg on the ground for mercy, and do whatever and anything it takes to get her with me again.